What do you think of Shedeur being able to lead you guys back? Where if you get one of those 2-point conversions, who knows what could be looking at overtime.
I mean, I think he did well. I think he looked good. He came up big when we needed him to. And there's going to be some ups and downs for anyone, especially a rookie. But he went in there, and he looked composed. He escaped out of some sacks, broke the pocket.
There's no way in hell I'm letting Myles Garrett single-handedly beat me. And this is the second time in a game this season where Myles Garrett has almost single-handedly won a game for the Browns. And ironically, he has a game with 5 sacks that they lost by 18 or 19, and his game with 4 sacks where they lost by a touchdown. One defensive end ain't gonna win you a game, but he did everything in his damn power to make sure the Browns had a chance late to go down and potentially win the game. He's incredible. And G, you said this before. I got to give you credit on this, man. I get frustrated sometimes at Myles when he doesn't go to training camp and he misses some OTAs or whatever. At the end of the day, you're right. None of that shit matters when you're that good. You're just right. Some people are just above the law.
Myles Garrett just exposed Kevin Stefanski in the most devastating post-game press conference after the Browns embarrassingly lost to the 1-win Titans at home. And what he said about the coaching staff's defensive game plan is about to make Stefanski look like a complete fraud. While Stefanski stood at the podium making excuses about, "That's not who we are as a run defense," after the Titans ran all over them, Garrett told a completely different story that reveals the coaching staff knew this was coming and did nothing to stop it. Garrett admitted the defense was licking our chops for the pass because they expected to dominate, but the Titans stuck with the run and exposed Cleveland's biggest weakness. And here is the shocking part. Garrett then praised Shedeur Sanders, saying he came up big when we needed him to. He looked composed, made some big-time plays, while the rookie threw for 350-plus yards and 4 touchdowns, including a 60-yard bomb to Jerry Jeudy. The stats don't lie. Shedeur put up elite numbers, and Garrett became the 8th player in NFL history to reach 20 sacks in just 13 games. Yet they still lost to a 1-win team because the coaching staff's game plan was so bad that even former Browns lineman LaCharles Bentley is now saying the boxes haven't been checked for Shedeur to start, suggesting the organization is hiding something about why the most productive quarterback isn't getting the full starter treatment.
Expectation is always to win. Prepare as well as you can, practice hard as you can. Bank those things and hope that you come out and do what you practice all week, and we didn't do that.
Kevin said that that's not who you are as a run defense. What went wrong there?
I don't know what to tell you. It's just, I agree with him. It's not who we are. It's hard to tell you right now, what it was. If it was, one thing in particular.
He put it up, and I'm just like, oh God, who was I even going to? I wasn't even looking down there to CIB, and then, I'm just looking. I'm like, oh God, please. And he drops it in the bucket, and he reaches it out. I'm like, please, just don't fumble into the end zone. And I'm just like, wow, there's not many guys in the league that can make that throw. So that was a hell of a throw. I hope he can continue to grow and develop, for making plays like that, and they'll take it from there.
Look, I need you to understand something right now. What just happened in Cleveland is one of the most embarrassing coaching failures we have seen all season. And the crazy part is that Myles Garrett basically admitted it in his press conference without even realizing what he was exposing. When the reporters asked Garrett about the Browns' expectations coming into this game against a 1-win Titans team, listen to what he said. Expectation is always to win. Prepare as well as you can, practice hard as you can, and bank those things and hope that you come out and do what you practiced all week. And we didn't do that. Did you catch that? We didn't do that. The Browns practiced all week for this game. They prepared for Tennessee's offense. They went through the game plan. And then when Sunday came around, they didn't execute what they practiced. That is not a player problem. That is a coaching problem. And it gets even more damning when the reporter followed up asking about Kevin Stefanski, saying that's not who you are as a run defense after the Titans absolutely dominated on the ground. Listen to Garrett's response. I don't know what to tell you. I agree with him. It's not who we are. It's hard to tell you right now what it was. If it was, one thing in particular, but it just wasn't us. Y'all, Myles Garrett is literally standing there at the podium saying he doesn't know what went wrong. The best defensive player on the team, a guy who is about to break the single-season sack record, is admitting he can't even explain why the defense got torched by a 1-win team's running game.
What about the game plan that they had in place to kind of keep you from wrecking the game for them today?
I was running the ball. Can't get a sack on a run play. Other than that, I mean, the chip, roll the pocket, I mean, the usual stuff. But, I mean, he was getting it out, one read, put it in there. So that's just, how they were treating things. And if they couldn't get it in one read, well, then they come back the next drive and continue running the ball. And they just kept their.
This is what happens when your coaching staff puts together a game plan that is so fundamentally flawed that even the players executing it can't explain why it failed. Garrett agrees with Stefanski that it's not who we are. But if it is not who they are, then why did it happen? Why did they come out completely unprepared to stop the run? And here is where it gets absolutely devastating for Kevin Stefanski and his coaching staff. When the reporter asked Miles about Tennessee's game plan to neutralize him specifically, Miles accidentally revealed the biggest coaching failure of the entire game. The reporter asked, what about the game plan that they had in place to kind of keep you from wrecking the game for them today? And Garrett's answer is going to shock you. It was running the ball. Can't get a sack on a run play. Other than that, I mean, the chip, ball pocket, I mean, the usual stuff. But I mean, he was getting it out one read, put it in the air. So that's just, how they were treating things. And if they couldn't get it in one read, well, then they'd come back the next drive and continue running the ball. Do you understand what Garrett just admitted? The Titans had a simple game plan. If the pass protection breaks down, just run the ball. And the Browns coaching staff had no answer for it. Tennessee just kept their heads down and ran the football, made some big plays on the ground, and stuck with it because Cleveland gave them zero reason to do anything else. Garrett even said it himself. They just kept their heads down and kept running away, and they made some big plays on the ground. And they stuck with it. Especially with the lead, there was no need to really pass the ball with any kind of urgency. This is coaching malpractice at the highest level. The Titans came into your building with one win all season, and their entire game plan was let's just run the ball because Cleveland won't stop us. And they were right.
It takes four to rush. We always talk about four, but four makes one. And those guys, whether it's containing and pushing them to me or vice versa, we've been rushing really well as a unit. And I think we're licking our chops for the pass, and they stuck with the run. And we really should have been focused on stopping the run to earn that right. We didn't earn the right today, and that showed.
But here is what makes this situation go from embarrassing to absolutely infuriating for Browns fans. While the defense was getting absolutely torched and the coaching staff had no answers, Shedeur Sanders was out there putting on an absolute clinic. Now let me tell you about the part of Garrett's press conference that is going to make you furious about how this organization is treating Shedeur Sanders, because what Miles revealed shows that the coaching staff set this defense up to fail. When a reporter asked Garrett what he thought about Shedeur being able to lead the Browns back where, if you get one of those two-point conversions, could be looking at overtime, Garrett's answer was incredible. Listen to this. I think he did well. I think he looked good. He came up big when we needed him to. And, there's going to be some ups and downs for anyone, especially a rookie. But, he went in there and, he looked composed. He escaped out of some sacks, broke the pocket, made some big-time plays and, just looking for him to continue to grow. Looking for that clock to speed up a little bit, but, it looks more and more at ease each week. Y'all, Myles Garrett just gave Shedeur Sanders the ultimate endorsement. He came up big when we needed him to. He looked composed, made some big-time plays, looks more and more at ease each week. And the stats back up everything Garrett said. Shedeur threw for over 350 yards and 4 touchdowns against Tennessee. 4. He hit Jerry Jeudy with a 60-yard bomb that gave the Browns a halftime lead. He threw a beautiful 1-yard touchdown to David Njoku. He put the team in position to tie the game multiple times in the fourth quarter.
I think we're licking our chops for the pass, and they stuck with the run. And we really should have been focused on stopping the run to earn that right. We didn't earn the right today, and that showed.
Miles, what's your mentality the last 4 games? What are you going to be telling your teammates?
Same thing I always tell them. Prepare to win. Prepare. Work hard. Don't change anything about.
According to reports, Shedeur finished 9 of 14, passing for 180 yards with 2 touchdowns in just the first half. By the end of the game, he had over 350 yards and 4 total touchdowns. Those are elite numbers. Those are franchise quarterback numbers. Those are the kind of numbers that should have the coaching staff saying, this is our guy going forward. But here is what makes this absolutely maddening. While Shedeur was putting up video game numbers and Garrett was getting his 20th sack of the season, becoming only the 8th player in NFL history to reach that mark in just 13 games, the Browns still lost to a one-win team. And you want to know why they lost? Because the coaching staff had the defense licking their chops for the pass when they should have been preparing to stop the run. Let me explain what Garrett meant by that phrase, because it is crucial to understanding just how badly Stefanski and his staff screwed this up. When Garrett said we really were licking our chops for the pass, he is admitting that the defensive game plan was built around pressuring the quarterback and forcing turnovers through the pass rush. The Browns defense was expecting Tennessee to throw the ball because that would allow Garrett and the pass rushers to take over the game. They were salivating at the opportunity to get after the quarterback and rack up sacks. But the Titans coaching staff looked at Cleveland's game plan and said, you know what, they want us to throw, let's just run the ball down their throat instead. And that is exactly what they did. Garrett admitted it himself. And if they couldn't get it in one read, well, then they come back the next drive and continue running the ball. And they just kept their heads down and kept running away.
He got out of, escaped out of some sacks, broke the pocket, made some big time plays, and just looking for him to continue to grow, looking for that clock to speed up a little bit. But he looks more and more at ease each week.
Miles, I know you want the Rider to come in and win, and it's not all about the sacks, but does it mean anything for you to be, I think you're the 8th person to get number 20, and you've done that in whatever 13 games?
Does it mean anything?
Tony Pollard had 97 yards on just 10 carries in the first half. He had a 65-yard touchdown run. The Titans ran all over the Browns because the coaching staff was too busy preparing for a pass-heavy attack instead of actually game planning for what Tennessee does best. This is basic coaching. You prepare for what your opponent does well, not what you hope they will do. But Stefanski and his staff were so convinced they could dominate with their pass rush that they left the run defense vulnerable, and it cost them the game. And here is the most frustrating part of all of this. Former Browns offensive lineman LaCharles Bentley just came out in an interview and basically confirmed that the organization is playing games with Shedeur's development. Bentley, a 2-time Pro Bowler who knows what it takes to succeed in this league, said this about the quarterback situation. What Shedeur can be, we don't know, because he's the backup. However it's being managed internally, I would like to believe that the organization is doing the best they can to win. But then Bentley dropped this bomb. Apparently those boxes haven't been checked when it comes to Shedeur earning the starting job. What boxes? The kid just threw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. He is completing passes all over the field. He is making big-time throws under pressure. He is doing everything you ask a quarterback to do. Bentley tried to be diplomatic, saying whatever metric they use to determine who the starter should be. Apparently those boxes haven't been checked. But do I think there's any kind of conspiracy? No, I don't. But come on, man. How can you look at what Shedeur is doing on the field and say the boxes haven't been checked? What more does this kid have to do?
That means I'm blessed to have a privilege to be on the field, and blessed to be with the teammates and the coaches that I have. I couldn't do it without all of their help. It takes 4 to rush. We always talk about 4, but 4 makes 1. And those guys, whether it's containing, push them to me or
Bentley even admitted, the one thing that I always have to be mindful of, because I've been in those buildings, what's happening on the inside on a day-to-day basis, we don't know. You think you know, but we don't have any idea, and that is the problem. There is clearly something going on inside that building that doesn't make sense from the outside. The most productive quarterback on the roster isn't getting the full starter treatment. And when people ask why, we get vague answers about boxes not being checked. You want to know what I think is really going on here? I think the Browns coaching staff is terrified of what it means if Shedeur Sanders succeeds. Think about it. If Shedeur comes in and starts winning games with 350-yard, 4-touchdown performances, what does that say about Kevin Stefanski's decision to stick with other quarterbacks for so long? What does it say about the organization's evaluation process? What does it say about all the excuses they have been making? It exposes them. It shows that they had a franchise quarterback sitting on the bench while they were losing games. It proves that their process and their metrics and their boxes that need to be checked were all just excuses to avoid admitting they were wrong. And you know what makes this even more damning? Myles Garrett's comments about Shedeur show that the players know what they have in this kid. Garrett didn't have to praise Shedeur the way he did. He could have given a generic "he did all right" answer and moved on. But instead, he went out of his way to talk about how Shedeur came up big when we needed him to, how he looked composed, how he is getting more and more at ease each week. That is not just politeness. That is respect. That is a future Hall of Fame defender telling you that he believes in this rookie quarterback. And it is not just Garrett. According to NBC Sports, Jerry Jeudy caught 3 passes for 76 yards, including that 60-yard touchdown. That is Judy's second touchdown of the entire year. Shedeur getting production out of receivers who have been invisible all season. David Njoku got a touchdown. The offense was moving when Shedeur had the ball. They scored 17 points in the first half alone with Shedeur making plays. But the coaching staff's defensive game plan was so bad, so fundamentally flawed, that even with Shedeur's heroics and Garrett making history with his 20th sack, they still lost to a 1-win team. You know what the most infuriating part of all this is? Kevin Stefanski is gonna stand at his podium this week and say something like, "We need to execute better," or "We didn't play to our standard," or some other generic coach speak that doesn't actually address the real problems. He is not going to admit that his defensive game plan was garbage. He is not going to admit that having the defense licking their chops for the pass while the Titans ran for 97 yards in the first half was a massive coaching failure. He is not going to give Shedeur Sanders the credit he deserves for putting the team in position to win despite the defense collapsing. And he is definitely not going to explain what these mysterious boxes are that Shedeur apparently hasn't checked yet, even though he is putting up better numbers than any quarterback on the roster. This is the kind of organizational dysfunction that makes fans lose their mind. You have a rookie quarterback putting up 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. You have your best defensive player making history with 20 sacks in 13 games. And you still lose to a 1-win team because your coaching staff can't put together a competent game plan. The Titans literally had 1 win all season. 1. They came into Cleveland and said, "We're just going to run the ball because their defense is going to be too busy trying to get sacks," and that is exactly what happened. Myles Garrett admitted it himself. They were licking their chops for the pass while Tony Pollard was running 65 yards for touchdowns. The coaching staff was so obsessed with getting pressure on the quarterback that they forgot about the basics of stopping the run. And meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders is out there proving he is the future of this franchise, making throws all over the field, bringing receivers like Jerry Jeudy back to life, putting points on the board, and the organization is still talking about boxes that haven't been checked yet. You want to know what box hasn't been checked? The box that says we have competent coaching. That is the box that is still empty in Cleveland. Myles Garrett can make all the history he wants. Shedeur Sanders can throw for all the yards and touchdowns he can. But until this coaching staff figures out how to put together a game plan that gets exposed by a 1-win team, none of it matters. And the fact that former players like LaCharles Bentley are out here basically saying, "I don't know what's going on inside that building, but something doesn't add up," should tell you everything you need to know about the state of this organization. So here is my question for all the Browns fans out there. How many more times does Shedeur Sanders have to throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns before these boxes get checked? How many more times does the coaching staff get to make terrible game plans that get exposed by 1-win teams before there is actual accountability? And when is someone going to ask Kevin Stefanski why his best player, Myles Garrett, is out here praising the rookie quarterback while the coaching staff is still making excuses about why he is not the full-time starter? Drop your answers in the comments because I need to know if I am the only one who thinks this is absolutely insane. And if you are as frustrated as I am with how this organization is wasting elite performances from Shedeur and Garrett, smash that subscribe button because we are going to keep calling out this coaching staff until they get it right. The talent is there. It is time for the coaches to stop making excuses and start putting these players in position to win. Let's go.